Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including 2 Darien football players granted probation that could clear their records in the future. We also have your front page previews later in the show. Frank Granito will have a look at your forecast and an Nutmeg Sports update, and Donald Eng will join us to take a look back on this day in history. But first, Greenwich police are investigating the death of a 70-year-old man who was struck and killed by a vehicle in Greenwich on Wednesday. Now, police said that man was struck while crossing Millbank Avenue just before 6 p.m. Police have not released the victim's name or information on the driver involved, and that accident remains under investigation. And the Reading Police Department is looking for suspects involved in the fraudulent ATM withdrawals and have one surveillance photo of one of those suspects. Now, police are working on obtaining more photographs from the other ATM withdrawals in hopes of identifying the individuals responsible. They're now asking anyone who can identify the person pictured or has any information to contact them directly at 203-938-3400. And in other news, 2 Darien High School football players have been granted probation that could clear their records on charges stemming from a fight in New Canaan that resulted in them missing the Thanksgiving rivalry football game against New Canaan High School. Now, Jack Joyce and Brian Minikis surrendered to New Canaan police back on November 23rd to face charges related to the alleged assault on a New Canaan teen November 6th. Now, according to Stephen Seeger, Minikis' attorney, accelerated rehabilitation was granted at their request at court on Wednesday. Now, the record-clearing probation was granted on the condition that Minikis complete 40 hours of community service. Upon receipt of that proof that the service has been done, his charges are expected to be dropped in early March. Now, though Seeger said he only spoke on behalf of Minikis, he said he believed that Joyce was granted a similar accelerated rehabilitation. Now, a 3rd student was also arrested on charges related to that incident, but has not been named as he is a juvenile. Now, Seeger said the victim in the case was present during his initial arguments for granting AR in December and that the court gave the victim time to think about it. Now, Seeger also added that they had time to confer with the victim's attorney as well. Now, the timing of the March dismissal coincides with college admissions, Seeger said, which he said is more than likely part of the consideration. Now, there's much more on that story at DarienTimes.com. And the Hour reports that a New Haven man was charged with risk of injury to a minor, among other charges, after a 1-year-old child accidentally ingested the man's drugs at a Norwalk residence. Now, on January 16th, that child was admitted to Yale New Haven Hospital for what was initially an unknown medical issue. Police said that further toxicology testing showed that the child had the drug Suboxone in its system. Now, Department of Children and Family investigators on January 21st made a follow-up walkthrough at that residence and found 2 vials of the drug on the kitchen floor. Police said the Suboxone belonged to the child's father, 29-year-old Matthew Hilton. Well, the Norwalk Police Department's Special Victims Unit was called, and based on its investigation, a warrant for Hilton's arrest was obtained. On Tuesday, New Haven police arrested Hilton on that warrant and held him for Norwalk police. And in other news, a 27-year-old man and a juvenile male were arrested after leading state police on a chase that started on I-95 in Milford Wednesday morning. Now, state police said that on February 7th at about 12:30 in the morning, troopers from Troop G in Bridgeport were conducting speed enforcement on I-95 southbound in the area of exit 40 when they observed a black Honda Accord traveling at a high rate of speed. Well, troopers tried to stop the Honda, but that driver sped up and engaged troopers in pursuit. Dispatch notified troopers that the Honda was reported stolen out of Ansonia. Well, that Honda continued traveling south on I-95 at times in excess of 120 miles per hour, police said, before that driver eventually lost control on the exit 27A off-ramp in Bridgeport and struck the left side barrier. Well, 2 male occupants then jumped out and fled on foot from that Honda, while 2 female occupants remained inside the vehicle. Now, both men jumped over the guardrail and ran down the embankment toward Prospect Street in Bridgeport. Troopers chased before one of those men, 27-year-old Quentin Brown of Bridgeport, was apprehended by a state police canine Silver and taken into custody. A few minutes later, that second man, a juvenile, was located by troopers and Bridgeport police nearby on Prospect Street and also taken into custody. Now, the females in the car were not charged and were all released at the scene. Brown was transported by ambulance to Bridgeport Hospital for injuries resulting from that canine apprehension. All right, taking a turn now, going to throw it over to Frank Granito for a look at your forecast. Frank.
All right, thank you, Kate. We're looking at a mostly sunny day around Fairfield County. Cold conditions as well. Temperatures in the low 30s as we get a look out at Route 8 there. A little bit windy out, gusts around 15 miles per hour, and of course keep an eye out for some black ice patches around after all that rain yesterday froze overnight. Partly cloudy skies tonight and a low of 19. Heading to Friday, which we'll see a lot of the same. Some sun turning towards mostly cloudy skies later on in the day. High of 33 during the day, low of 30 overnight. Warmer out Saturday. Going to be mild with temperatures around 46. Partly cloudy skies. Could see some more rain coming our way Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Temperatures dropping into the high 30s. We'll have more on that tomorrow. For now, back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. And we are going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Eng will give us a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have more local news after this.
Set sail on a summertime adventure with Sail Away Sailing School. Located in Captain's Cove Seaport in Bridgeport, we're sailing June 18th through August 10th. 2 sessions offered daily, Monday through Friday for ages 9 to 15. Have fun, make friends, learn to sail. Visit teamsailaway.com.
At Pamby Motors, we're not worried about being the biggest dealership. We're focused on being the best. We're dedicated to giving you the best experience we can. The Pamby Motors team is here to help you choose the right Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram in a friendly, pressure-free environment. And right now, during Ram Truck Month, get up to $14,000 off on all in-stock 2017 Ram 1500 pickups. Come in and see us for details. Visit Pamby Motors, Route 7 in Ridgefield, PambyZone.com.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Baystar and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866.
Welcome back to this February 8th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. Time to take a look back on this day in history with Donald Eng. Don.
Well, Kate, you know, we're going with an acronym today. A bit of a mystery to some folks, but with a bit of a local connection also. First, though, we're going to go back to 1693. William and Mary, the college in Williamsburg, Virginia, is granted a charter by King William III and Queen Mary II. Now, William and Mary is the second oldest institute of higher learning in the country and the oldest in the South. 3 presidents have graduated from the school. That would be Jefferson, Monroe, and Tyler. William and Mary alumni also include Supreme Court Justice John Marshall, Speaker of the House Henry Clay, 16 members of the Continental Congress, and 4 Declaration of Independence signers. The school sometimes refers to itself as the nation's alma mater. 1971 now, the NASDAQ stock market index opens for the first time at various locations, including that one there, which is in Trumbull, Connecticut. It is the world's first electronic stock market. Now, in stock lingo, you might know that NYSE is New York Stock Exchange. You might even know that DJIA stands for Dow Jones Industrial Average, but do you know what NASDAQ stands for? Anyone? Nope, time's up. National Association of Securities Dealers Automated. Quotations. You can win your next trivia night there. 1993, General Motors sues NBC after Dateline rigs 2 crashes intended to demonstrate that some GM trucks would easily catch fire if hit in certain places, presumably by a sky blue Chevy Citation. NBC settles the lawsuit the next day after issuing a broadcast apology. Finally, now we go to 1962. Cuba for this.
Al embargo norteamericano.
The full embargo had been a long time coming. After Castro seized power 3 years earlier, the Americans began to target the economy of the new Cuban regime. Washington's cancellation of Cuban sugar imports was quickly followed by Castro's nationalization of American-owned oil refineries.
Once the US had cancelled the sugar quota, Cuba had to find another customer and turn to the Soviet Union, which of course further contributed to the deterioration in relations.
Just had pointed out to me another historical streak there, William and Mary, in its history since 1693, never made the NCAA tournament still. But that was, of course, the Cuban embargo instituted by the Kennedy administration on this day in 1962. The embargo is, in some form, had been in place since 1958. It remains in place today, though it has been relaxed somewhat in recent years. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce estimates the embargo has cost the U.S. economy $1.4 billion per year, and the Cuban economy much more than that. That is your look back in history for today, February 8th, and I'm Donald Eng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. And in other local news, Hearst, Connecticut media reports that vandals caused an estimated $35,000 in damage to a Fairfield house undergoing renovations on Misty Wood Lane. Now, the owner reported the damage, which included holes punched in the walls, on Saturday afternoon. According to the report, the entire kitchen was damaged, with cabinets ripped out and glass shattered. There was also damage in virtually every room except the master bedroom. Toilet seats were smashed and a shower nozzle was ripped from the wall. That incident remains under investigation. And at a joint budget meeting of the New Canaan Town Council and the Board of Finance on Tuesday, the head of schools, Superintendent Brian Luizzi, presented and promoted the Board of Education's 2018-2019 budget proposal of over $90 million. Well, Luizzi has raised eyebrows in some circles for submitting a spending plan with a 3.4% increase over the current year's budget, even though the Board of Finance provided a guideline back in October for the town departments to keep budget increases to 2% or less. Well, extending an olive branch as he scanned the nearly 20 people on the two boards that faced him, he spoke about working together and having a constructive dialogue about the budget going forward. Take a look.
It's much more than just a financial document. You know, it is through this document that we're able to provide the quality education to our students, the quality experience for them. And these are difficult conversations, and certainly we understand that. We're all going to do our best to bring in a budget that is that meets the needs of the students in the schools and the needs of the greater community. And we do look forward to being your partners in doing that, because I know that working together, we can continue to provide an excellent education for all of our kids in a way that's sustainable for the entire community.
There's more video of the superintendent's presentation and more on the budget at ncadvertiser.com. And 3 of the main traffic light intersections in downtown Darien will be non-functioning for most of the time today between now and 3 p.m., according to the Darien Police. Now, the reason for that interruption is electrical work being done by the State Department of Transportation. Those intersections with the Post Road are at West Avenue, Tokenique Road, and Center Street, and they'll all be affected. Now, officers have been assigned to this project to assist with safe and orderly traffic flow through the downtown area during this time that the lights will be non-operational. The contractor has assured town officials that they will work as quickly as possible to return the lights to normal operation. Now, Darien police are asking all motorists planning trips through the downtown area accordingly and consider some alternate routes if possible. And in other news, local law enforcement officers will host a Tip a Cop event to benefit Special Olympics Connecticut on Friday, February 23rd from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Chip's Family Restaurant in Fairfield. Now, during the event, officers will volunteer their time to assist restaurant staff in taking orders and serving breakfast and lunch to customers. Well, all tips that the officers receive for their effort will go to Special Olympics Connecticut to support its year-round sports, health, and fitness programs for athletes of all abilities. Now, Tip a Cop is a law enforcement torch run event to benefit Special Olympics Connecticut. For more information, you can call 203-230-1201. And the opioid epidemic and Narcan training is the focus of this month's Straight Talk with Tracy, airing today on the HAN network. Ellen Brzozowski, the Director of Community Relations at Silver Hill Hospital, leads free community Narcan trainings throughout the region. Well, Brzozowski and Kira Townsend, a prevention coordinator and Silver Hill alum, join host Tracy Masella today to discuss the changing face of addiction, prevention, and using Narcan to reverse an overdose. Townsend will also share her personal experience with battling addiction and living a sober life. Now, you can watch that show today at noon at HAN.network and all of our affiliated community news sites. You can also watch it later on demand. And Straight Talk with Tracy is a Silver Hill Hospital production, and it airs the second Thursday of each month right here on HAN. All right, well, let's throw it back over to Frank Granito now for your Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
All right, thank you, Kate. A little bit of a lull here in the winter season after most of the Wednesday night schedule was a wash due to the weather yesterday. Just a handful of games going on tonight, including a couple big ones for the Darien basketball squad as they have a rivalry meeting with New Canaan. The boys are at home The girls on the road, the girls with a win stay in the hunt for the FCIAC playoff picture. And the FCIAC postseason continues on tomorrow from New Canaan High School. We will be there for the first day of the FCIAC Wrestling Championship, looking to crown this year's Joe Sikorsky winner. Of course, Danbury, the favorite heading into this tournament, but a lot of teams in the hunt. Mike Suppy, Bill Bloxam, John Kovach are going to be with you all day tomorrow and Saturday, making sure you are caught up and ready to go with everything you need to know wrestling. For now, back over to Kate.
Thanks so much, Frank, and we are going to step out for a break. When we come back, John Kovach joins me to preview our front pages this week after this.
Get a fresh start to the new year by shaking up your meal routine. Walter Stewart's Market is your local source for a delicious selection of fresh and convenient salad shakers, like Southwest salad with chicken, Cobb with organic chicken, Power Vegan with fruit and quinoa, Greek salad with tabbouleh, and grilled shrimp with hominy. Grab one from our salad case or order from our deli today. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Our Ram trucks get the job done with unparalleled style and performance. Call, click, or stop in to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck that you've been looking for. Family owned and operated for over 50 years. Save thousands right now at the President's Day event and Ram Truck Month. Ends February 28th.
At Galt, we always put you first. As your full-service home heating partner, we provide expert delivery, installation, and maintenance for all your heating needs with knowledgeable, friendly professionals that give you peace of mind 24/7. Galt Family Companies, you first since 1863.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care gives you direct access to orthopedic specialists fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care can help. Open 7 days a week now at 3 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien, or in the Westport Medical Center at 323 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Go to myorthoct.com, like them on Facebook.
Welcome back to this Thursday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm joined now by John Kovach, our editorial director, to preview our front pages this week. John, what are you looking at first?
In Monroe, the annual Color Guard Classic was held, and the defending champs open their new season. We've got to look at the Animal Extravaganza Animal Embassy held at the Edith Wheeler Memorial Library. Monroe will have a town meeting on Monday, and they will be getting a report that will assess the town's needs.
All right, well, I'm taking a look at the Weston Forum this week. Weston Speaks Up, an event was held talking about the special ed budget, tolls, the environment, lots of town officials there, and State Senator Tony Wong, as you can see in some of those photos.
In Shelton, a man was arrested after a standoff with police. Students from China are visiting Shelton High School. There's a controversy with the Board of Apportionment and Taxation, which has not elected a chair yet. They have an acting chairman, Mayor Mark Loretti, telling the board to do its job. A request for changes to regulations governing accessory apartments, and the Southern Connecticut Conference held its cheerleading championships at Shelton High.
All right, taking a look at the Milford Mirror this week. Gulf Street to undergo a $3 million restoration. More on that project. And the school superintendent, Dr. Elizabeth Fieser, is retiring. So there's a feature on kind of her legacy in Milford.
In New Canaan, the school superintendent pitching the budget for the coming fiscal year. The possibility that the public may get a better look at how decisions are made in some FOI discussions. Possible changes coming to the Country Club of New Canaan and the Creative Placemaking Conference, bringing together cultural and art groups from the New Canaan area.
Taking a look at the Darien Times this week, more on Governor Malloy proposing some cuts in aid to wealthy towns and how that would specifically affect Darien. Also, the Board of Ed getting an update on Fitch Academy revenue. That's the alternative education program. And an interesting photo of some Canada geese welcoming a feathery friend.
I don't think they're welcoming.
Yeah, no, they seem to be running from that. At least they're not attacking him.
It appears that the white one is actually hurting the others. I'm not sure that's the case either, but I don't know that welcoming is the word I would use.
But that photo does go with the selectmen finalizing recommendations for some programming at the Ox Ridge Field. And Darien EMS, something we talked about on Coffee Break, seeking to help one of their own who has a rare form of cancer.
The town of Reading has reached a settlement with the estates of 2 people who were killed in a 2012 train crash there. Train crossings and the dangers in Reading have been in the news a lot. And a profile of an artist who really loves to pay homage to the ordinary person.
All right, taking a look at the Ridgefield Press this week. Some big news in Ridgefield this week is that Tucker West, who is a Ridgefield resident, is competing in the Winter Olympics. He's competing in the men's luge on Saturday morning, so there's a lot of pride happening right now in Ridgefield. I know there's going to be some watch events as well. So more on that in the Ridgefield Press. Also, revaluation showing a stable market. And the ABC girls giving a boost to Black History Month, bringing some Black history education to Ridgefield High School.
In Stratford, there is an election coming up to replace Laura Hoydick, who was recently elected mayor in the 120th General Assembly District. You have Philip Young and Bill Cabral facing off. They will go to the polls on February 27th. Nice picture by Melvin Mason of Long Beach, which is really just a beautiful place down there. A story on the opioid crisis, which is making so many headlines, and the possibility of a billboard relocation being part of the Dock Shopping Center and some development down there.
All right, taking a look at the Trumbull Times this week, Tim Herbst, who's running for governor, slamming a highway toll plan. Also, Ray Baldwin being sworn in as police commissioner. He's actually a former first selectman as well, being sworn in by the current first selectman, Vicky Tesoro. Some police news, and that's that a suspect hid some stolen items in a restaurant toilet at the Sitting Duck. Also, some more arrests made in a Canoebrook Lake gunpoint robbery back in October, and a kidnap scam targeting some Trumbull residents.
In the Easton Courier, we learned that jury selection has begun in the trial of Kyle Navin, who is accused of murdering his parents, who are Easton residents. And the Easton Historical Society has made a deal to pay the Board of Selectmen $400 a year for its share of utilities at the Easton Library, plus $1 a year for rent.
All right, taking a look at the Wilton Bulletin this week. Town budget requests jumping 2% and insurance costs driving most of that increase. Also, of course, it is pothole season, but that meets the app age in Wilton, so more on how reporting those potholes is changing. And a very cool feature about a local couple. The Keeleys close in on their Everest Base Camp ascent. Wow, good for them.
And in our arts and leisure section, we have the many charms of chocolate with Valentine's Day less than a week away, and a profile of Leslie Costa, who is searching. She finds hope in challenging times through her music. Very interesting profile of her.
All right, and Home Monthly is also in our papers this week. A cool feature on what your front door can kind of bring attention to your home, and it's so true. That is the first thing you notice at anyone's home.
It really is, but the first impression's so important.
Yeah, and just some tips for better health and some more in Home Monthly, so check it out. All right, and we have a busy day today on the HAN Network.
We have Silver Hill at noon?
Yes, the Straight Talk with Tracy, Silver Hill production coming up at noon. It's a really great episode talking about Narcan, talking about the opioid epidemic and saving lives, so definitely tune in today at noon. Yankee Fisherman coming up at 1 o'clock.
We're catching up with 2 young anglers who are doing big things. One is starting his own guide service, and one just competed and finished toward the top in a Bassmaster tournament in Florida. And then Nutmeg Sports at 2, and we'll look at the FCAC Cheerleading Championships.
Oh, that's right. Very cool. Looking forward to that. All right, so it's a busy day, so stay tuned to the HAN Network, but we're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 with the latest local news. Have a great day.